I think that's normal, right? Like a chimpanzee, if he's 5, he could beat up normal people, right? I think, let me check on Google. Okay, maybe I am wrong. This is this is anime, so I mean, exaggerations come out sometimes. Well, I finally started watching an anime that's been on my list for a while. So long, in fact, I completely forgot about it until I was scrolling through Prime and realized it finally released. The Darwin incident is odd. It's an interesting odd. The series follows Charlie, who is a half human, half chimpanzee, and they call him a humanzee. That's just such a funny name to me. But it's not as cut and dry as it sounds. Charlie was actually created in a lab. Thanks to the ALA, he and all the other animals being kept there were freed and saved. But the thing is, the ALA has an extremely extreme way of helping animals. They resort to terrorism, extreme terrorism, like with guns, bombs, the whole deal. At first, they seem kind of tame, but later on they get more and more extreme. Their goal seems to be making the world a place where animals aren't mistreated, which is obviously commendable, right? But they are going about it in the worst way possible. Charlie was somewhat of a celebrity when he was born, up until he was about 5 years old. Then an incident happened and everything started to quiet down after that. Now he's 15 years old and he's attending school. Of course, you know how teenagers are, especially teenagers in TV shows. They constantly question Charlie, usually starting with his values and stuff. They ask why he's vegan and why he's chimpanzee and part human. His answers are always very deep and honestly pretty unsettling. Like, you can tell he means no harm by it, but he genuinely questions the world and how people think, which makes sense because he's not normal. He's half chimpanzee, for God's sake. At one point, students ask him what he thinks about something some random vegans did. Well, they're not random vegans, they're members of the ALA, I'm pretty sure. They set off a bomb that killed a girl, so the students are basically asking Charlie if he thinks that kind of thing is okay, and is that how things should be? They keep prodding him, asking him about why he's eating meat wrong. Charlie reiterates something that he's already said before though. He doesn't particularly see anything wrong with eating meat, he's just grown up not eating it because that's how his parents raised him, his foster parents. Then he raises the question that sounds crazy on the surface, but I don't know. He asked them what's the difference between eating animal meat and eating human meat. I know it sounds wild as hell, but of course he would ask that. He is an animal. When people eat animals, morality tends to go out the window, and that's basically what he's just asking here. Like, but now that Charlie's back in the public eye, the world gets even weirder, bro. Like, the ALA is planning something big, and they want Charlie at the front of it. There are a lot of people in this series with their own motives, but when it comes to the ALA, they're clearly hoping Charlie will take their side and join whatever war or whatever it is that they have planned. From what I've seen so far though, Charlie is just living his life. He doesn't really care about either side. As more incidents start happening, like the bombings I mentioned earlier, people unfairly start suspecting Charlie. We know he isn't behind it, but he is an anomaly, right? So there's nobody else like him in this world. I'm pretty sure he's the only person like this. I can definitely see why people are scared though, because of that incident when he was 5 that I talked about earlier. He was being protected by a full police security detail. I don't know exactly what happened, but I know he went off with a group of officers, maybe to the bathroom or somewhere else, and it took them a while, so another group of officers entered the room to see what was going on. Inside there was a bunch of police officers laid out, beaten up by a 5-year-old Charlie. I think that's normal, right? Like, a chimpanzee, if he's 5, he could beat up normal people, right? I think, let me check on Google. Okay, maybe I am wrong. This is this is anime, so I mean, exaggerations come out sometimes. But because of that incident, police now follow Charlie everywhere, and many of them don't believe he should exist in this world at all. They think he's too dangerous, and honestly, if I were in their position, I might do the same thing, bro. Have you seen Planet of the Apes, bitch? Have you seen Planet of the Apes? Have you seen Caesar? Oh, and I also kind of forgot to mention Lucy. She's basically Charlie's only friend right now. Keep in mind, I've only watched 2 episodes, so this is a short analysis, but she seems really cool. In the first episode, she tried to save a cat stuck in a tree. Charlie ended up saving her because, you know, he's a monkey guy, and helped her in a tree. And afterwards, she became genuinely interested in him. Not in a weird way, she just seems like a solid person. At one point, a shady guy who seems connected to the ALA started asking questions about Charlie, and she shuts that down immediately. She defends him at school. She even gets mad when people talk badly about him and just genuinely has his back for real. So my final thoughts, it's odd, but interesting. I'm not entirely sure what the author's exact goal is or what they're trying to base the story around. Is it political? Maybe. I'm not a huge political person, I am a vegan myself and I've never thought of anything this extreme, but I'm sure there are people out there who would take things this far. I'm really curious to see Charlie grow because right now he seems pretty emotionless about everything. The only time we see him do anything remotely violent is when he was 5 with those police officers. I think people should check out the series though for sure. I haven't heard anyone talking about it, probably because this anime season is super stacked. But yeah, the Darwin incident, it's a pretty interesting watch that you guys should check out for sure.